All right, we are live. What's going on, fellas? Fell out there. I'm gonna hold out for a minute. We're gonna go ahead and do our book study for the 48 Laws of Power. We on Law 2. We still at the beginning. It's not too late to jump on and jump in. We got it. All right, give this a minute or two. See if anybody drop on in. Put this where I can see it. Get all my stuff. I'm gonna tell y'all what, man. It's been challenging this week. This week been real challenging. Had a lot of stuff going on. Had a lot of responsibilities and favors to fill. So and, a lot of wins and a few losses, man. But that's how I go. I mean, sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. You know. So yeah. But after I had that day of losses, hold on. Not gonna lie, I wasn't feeling that good about that. So I wasn't all depressed or anything, but I just kind of chill, said to myself, and then came back hard the next day. Y'all probably saw the post I made where I said I'm getting ready to do some impossible things today. So that's what I did. I framed it in my mind. I got to do something impossible. I got to win today because I wasn't gonna lose 2 days in a row. That ain't happening. So yeah, we did that, man. Got the big project done last night. Worked on it for like 6 hours straight. They had it ready, turned in. Came all pretty good. And now I'm here today, and that's why I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. We don't have any PowerPoints today. We got no PowerPoints. We ain't got all that other stuff. And I just ain't had time to put it together. Just ain't had time. But it's all good because I'm not gonna cancel. Not gonna cancel. We're gonna keep on moving. We're gonna keep going forward. So yeah. So Jay Sims the Lion, shout out to him. I'm glad he made it back safe. He had a business trip this week. So he hadn't quite gotten back to his house yet. So he's still, flights delayed and this and that. You know how that go. So he's still in transit. He may or may not make it into the stream tonight. But if he do, it's all good. I'll be glad to have him. And if he can't, then hey, it's all good too. You got your family you ain't seen in a couple days. Your son and all that and your lady. So I get it. But I got this, man. We're gonna make this work. So all right. Let me go ahead and get this thing set up here. So last week we talked about law 1. And law 1 was I forgot all the laws. Goodness, ain't it number 1, but never outshine the master. And at the center of that was from a guy called Nicholas Fouquet. And if you see us talking about if you ever got Fouquet, this is what we're talking about. Basically, the law say just don't try to outshine the people that's your boss or people that's ahead of you. What Nicholas Fouquet did, he used to work for King Louis XIV, and the prime minister position was coming up. So he figured that he was gonna get that because he was, the next man down, but he didn't get it. So to prove himself, what he did is through this big party, had lots of foreign food, dancers, shows, all this stuff. King Louis saw that and been like, hey, this man trying to outshine me. We can't have this. So he sent the people to his house to get him and locked him up for 20 years. He never saw the light of the day again. So basically what the lesson was sometimes we do this on purpose. We will go and try to outshine the person that's in charge because probably we don't like them or just anything like that. But what this book telling you, the law to the power, is don't do it like that. You can't show out all the time because that person has the power. They the boss. You don't have that power. So what's going to happen when they drop the hammer on you? Then you out of a job or anything else. Um, we all told examples of how it happened to us. I mean, it happened to me. Sometimes it happened inadvertently when you don't even mean to do it. You know what I mean? Like you just being you, and people get jealous of you or whatever, and they're gonna try to get you out. So, but what the laws of power talk about is if you know it's a situation like that, either one, you got to play the game, endure yourself, or two, get out of dodge. Just get moving. So yeah, that's where we at. So now we back at the next law. Never put too much trust in friends. And what it says, learn how to use your enemy. So in this law, he sets it up in a way that uses stuff from history and brings it forward to where we can be a we can better understand it. So in this one, it's all about Basilius and Michael. So Basilius was a stable boy. Michael was the prince. So what Michael did, he got in trouble one day, went by the stables, almost got killed. Basilius saved him because he was always there and used to being around horses and all this stuff. Michael was gracious. He had a lot of gratitude. So what he ended up doing is taking care of him. He ended up sending him to school. He gave him money, riches, introduced him to women, all of this stuff he did. And eventually he became the emperor. So now Basilius was his homeboy. Well, what happened was Basilius had him killed. He showed a bit of weakness and he had him killed. And he became the emperor. So what happened was it was like Michael used the gratitude that he thought he should be getting and confused that with loyalty. So because he gave Basilius all of this stuff, he figured that, I don't have to worry about him because I took care of him. But y'all know how that go, man. You can give somebody something today and they're gonna spit in your face tomorrow. I mean, that's just how it is. But if you sitting there waiting and relishing gratitude, then it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Let me try something here. Let me try something here. Oh, and also, fellas, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the shared link in the chat on both sides. That way, if you're watching and we own and you want to come in, then you can come in and we can talk about it. Give you 2 cents. All right, let me try this. I'm gonna see if I can put the book page up because I got a PDF for the book. And we're gonna try to put this up and see if we can see it. And in that way, if you don't have it, you can read along. All right, let me add this to the stream. Oh, there it is. All right, we got it now. All right, law 2. Don't put too much trust in friends, learn from enemies. So this work, be wary of your friends because they'll betray you real quick. And a lot of them get jealous on you. So you got more to fear from your friends than your enemies. And it says, if you don't have any enemies, find a way to make them. And that's the part when people see that, they think it's this way the ethical part coming from, because you got to make enemies. To that, I say, you don't have to create enemies. You don't have to go out and wrong people and make people angry with you and do bad things to them to make enemies. Sometimes, you know what all you got to do is just be you. Keep being successful. Sometimes people, they be hating based on that. So you ain't got to go out there and do it. Don't think that. Now this is the part here that's talking about Michael and Basilius. But let's skip on down. Let's keep rolling. So that was the one that was wrong. So I'm gonna go to where I am now. right here, observance of the law. So the observance of the law is when they do stuff right. This is the stuff that's right. So I'm gonna go ahead and summarize this real quick. So Han Dynasty in China, General Shao Kyung-ying was became the emperor. So what happened was this: he was a general in the army, and he made the kill. He was set to become the emperor. Now, as was the custom, the generals would go out and eventually try to take over and kill the emperor so they can become emperor. So he knew this was going down because that's how he got the power. So what he decided to do, instead of trying to watch his back all the time, he invited all the generals over to dinner, and he told them that it would be better for them to live rich and be retired than to try to take over this kingdom. So instead of doing that, they took the deal. They took the deal and they were loyal to him. So he retired the generals, he paid them. And here's the funny thing about, not the funny thing, but here's the good thing about that. See, they had a mutual benefit. Now, this is the difference between what Basilius and Michael had and what this general had. In the first example, Basilius was given things and he wasn't getting anything in return. He, all right. So in the book called No More Mr. Nice Guy, in the book No More Mr. Nice Guy, there is a theory that he talks about called an unspoken contract. And basically what it is when people believe that a thing should happen because they did something, but they never tell the other person. And then they get mad, upset, angry, hold grudges against people who never knew that they had to do something. So that's the unspoken contract. And that's what Michael had with Basilius. He had an unspoken contract because I sent you to school, gave you this money. You're supposed to be loyal to me 24/7. So to always do this. But what happened was, well, flip back to law 1, outshining the master. There's a part in there that if you see the master slipping, if he's starting to get weak, then you can start shining to take his power. And that's exactly what happened to Michael. So here, let me get back to this part. So the general got all his people. Everybody was on his side. They all liked him. So he used that to his advantage. So he the one that did it right. So he got a mutual benefit. They wasn't going to try to kill him. They end up getting riches and being able to retire. Mutual benefit. All right. So we're going to get on down to this thing because, man, I'm tired and I don't think we're going to go too long, but we're going to do what we do. Now, there's a part here. Every chapter of this book has something called the keys to power. So let me show you. If you scroll down, the keys to power. And if you want a copy of this, let me know that we can work something out. I get you. But right there, keys to power. And breaking it down, the author says that, it's all right to want to hire your friends. Because if you go into a situation and stuff is rough, then your friends help make it a lot easier because, they got your back, help you get through that. But as time goes on, what you will find out is that you don't know them friends as good as you say that you do. Because everybody got their own stuff that they do at home. There be one person out in front of the people, they don't do a certain thing. But then, when they get home or get around certain other people, they change. You only get to see one side of them. And that's the thing that could happen when you hire friends. Now, keep in mind, this law is strictly for hiring, firing, working type things. So don't go about in your everyday life trying to make enemies. Now, another key to power is that, the more stuff you give the people, the less gratitude they will have. The more stuff you give to them, the less gratitude they will have. So don't expect gratitude just because you gave somebody something. All right, let me bring this on back here. Don't expect that, man. And having friends. I got my notes here, so I'm reading off my note page. Um, Hiring friends can limit your power. All right, so let me get into this here. If you the boss or you the manager, stuff getting tight, so you hire your friends on. But your friends don't know nothing about what y'all doing. It's kind of like I used to work in a warehouse. So if y'all know warehouses, one big commodity we got out there is clamp truck drivers. If you got somebody that can drive a clamp or a slip sheet, they're a commodity. Um, so, but if you hire your friend on to do that, but they can't drive the clamp, then it hurts you more than help you. So instead of hiring on your friends, hire people that's qualified for the job. Now, if your friend is qualified and they're your friend, oh, hook them up, get them up, man. Do that. That's one of the best kinds. I remember when the opposite thing of this happened to me, except I had a friend who hired me on. That's how I got my first warehouse management job. He was the general manager, and I was the assistant manager. So he hired me on out here, and I was working. He was my friend. We hadn't been friends a super long time, but he was all right dude. So we ended up working. And next thing I know, this dude, man, all of a sudden, man, this joker would always be having migraine headaches. So he'll be dipping out early. And then he'll be taking days off early, but I'm there working. There's stuff going down. He calling my phone 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I've been doing all the work. So I didn't know him like I thought I should, because he flaked out on me. He flaked out. I've been doing all the work and he been getting all the money. I mean, no lie. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. He was the boss. And there was a time we was so we was at the warehouse, right? We just changed label companies, which I had to find them. Changed label companies. So now I got, the pay got kind of jacked up. So here we go. The checks got messed up that first week. And I saw they was messed up, told the fellas I was gonna fix them, so they trusted me. So that was all good. So after that, the next week, the checks was short again. So Buddy had a check for 17 cents. He had to work overtime that week and he got a check for 17 cents. Somebody else had a check for 37 cents. We had one that was $1.24. So nobody check was right. It was so far off, it was a shame. And they was about to walk out. Man, I quit. We done. But keep in mind, we had loads to go out. So our loads going out, and we had 15 loads that day, and we usually average about 10. That's all we had the manpower to do. So not only we had to do something impossible, but them boys wasn't paid and they weren't trying to hit. And guess who wasn't there? Yeah. The manager wasn't there. The assistant manager was there. So I had to go and stand in front of these people and talk them down from quitting. And the only reason they stayed is because of me. They said, Doc, we like you. You all right. You do everything you can for us, but we going to help you because it's you. So the opposite thing of that happened to me. And I was the scapegoat. I was a scapegoat. Now that I think about it, because that's one of the keys to power right here, where it says use friends as scapegoats and to do dirty work. I didn't even know I was being used. I just thought I was doing the job. So that's the thing that'll get you, bro. If you will easily be a scapegoat, going above and beyond, doing some hard work for friends, and having a friend blind you a lot of times where you can't see their habits and all of that stuff. It don't really register to you. But that's what happened to me. I mean, he was my friend, and then all of a sudden, he sold me out. He sold me clean out and made it seem like he wasn't doing nothing. So yeah, that's one of them laws, man. You can't do that. So next thing he says, don't overlook your enemies. So you might go into a place working or hiring people, and somebody be good at a job, but you don't want to give them a job just because you don't like them. And that happened a lot. But then you might be getting rid of the person you need to push you all over the top. So the thing about an enemy and people who you think don't like you, especially in management, being a manager, man, that's how people not gonna like you. They're not gonna like the decisions you make. They're gonna think they always can do something better. But the most vocal one, that's the one you want to get on your side. It was I think it's a quote from Abraham Lincoln, and he said that the best way to get rid of enemies is to turn them into friends. The best way to get rid of enemies is to turn them into friends. So once you do that, the enemy, they always got something to prove. They got something to prove because you know what? They think they can do it better than you. They think they can, give you good input that's gonna work because they didn't been there longer than you. But that's one of them things, man. So you got to look out for that. Turn your enemies into friends. Um, so that's about the big thing we got, man. I just, this was a quick one, but you know, Jay Sims is on the way, so we're gonna hang on for a minute and we're gonna wait till he come. We're probably gonna discuss this because I'm interested to know where he going with this, what he think about it. But I'm gonna go back. Let me go back. Let's look at some of this. Let's talk about the book itself. So 48 Laws of Power. It's a book that written by author Robert Greene, written by Robert Greene. And Robert Greene wrote this book as a letter or advice to himself. So when you hear about this book, people say, oh, it's the narcissistic Bible. People do it for bad things. It show you how to take advantage of folks. And that wasn't it at all. It was a book to himself, to his 19, 20, 21-year-old self. So how can you be mad at that? He telling them exactly what to look out for. Here are the keys to success. This is the reversal. And his citations. So a lot of things he cited works of history. Now, a lot of times people say stuff and it don't be connected to nothing. It don't mean nothing. Don't mean a thing. And so be careful. A lot of the stuff you read, a lot of the stuff you hear people talking about, it's not rooted in any research. It's just how they feel. And you can't take that just because somebody's saying it excitingly that it's the truth. So y'all think about that, man, for real. But this book, I mean, I've heard people say that it was unethical, that it was good, but not that good because of it tells you to do bad things. But when I see it as it's telling you what to look out for. It's telling you how to survive. Because there's folks out there that will use you and use you up real good, man. They will use you until nothing left. And the one thing I learned about, when I got out into the world on my own is that there's people out there like that. And they wear all types of disguises. In this book gives us information to know what the disguises look like and what to do. So man, that you can learn from anything. And that's one of the laws in this book, that you can learn from any person. Um so don't discount something because of where it's coming from. It's like in the religious sense, when people are at church and they have church functions, and the person that's delivering the message, the people don't like him. I don't like him, so I ain't listening to nothing he got to say. Well, they may have gems and nuggets in what they saying, because it's the words that you going after, not the person. I always use this analogy. I tell folks that, would you let's say you got a letter in the mail, and the letter was, the outside of the letter had oil stains on it. It was partly ripped on the top, had fingerprints on it with grease, like it had been trampled. But you got a letter in the mailbox, and inside the letter was a check for $1 million. Would you have opened the letter, or would you have thrown it away? What's more important, the envelope that the check came in, or the actual check? Now, I hope you said it's the check, because there's a lot of folks out there that see stuff for surface value, and they'll just throw it away, and throwing money away just because it's got some dirty, greasy fingerprints on it. So listen to what people saying. All right, so we're gonna hang out for a little bit more. See if Jay can come on, and if he can't, then we may just restart it and do it again. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. I don't know. I might do this this thing here again, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. Well, I tell you what, it had been about 30 minutes. I did that quick review of Law 2. So just the preview, I'm gonna tell y'all what's on the docket for next week. Now, next week, conceal your intentions. Law 3. Keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you're up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it'll be too late. All right. So next week, Thursday at 7, I will be better prepared, because I don't think I have a lot to do this week. So I can get this done, maybe have a nice little presentation, stuff we can bounce off of, and then we'll go from there. So anyway, I'm about to go ahead and sign off. Fellas, I appreciate your time. If you're watching this on the replay, then please like it, share it, or whatever you need to do. While y'all here, go ahead to our YouTube page at The Book of Man, and like some of the content we got over there. If it do something for you, then go ahead and share it. That all helps. We have a bigger plan here, bigger things that we're trying to do. A lot of men, we want to help. Oh, there you go. Jay is on the house. Let me go ahead and put him on.
What's up, bro?
Yo, man, how you doing?
Man, I'm a little tired, just jumping off the plane or whatever, man. But I'm good, man. I do not want to miss this. This chapter introduces my favorite character in the whole book. My man Talleyrand. My man Talleyrand is my favorite character. he get introduced in this chapter right here. We're gonna talk about Talleyrand a few more times. He ain't going nowhere. Get comfortable with that name. But
I hear you, man. I hear you.
He first introduced in this chat. I said, I ain't gonna miss my boy. Now that's my boy Talleyrand. I'm gonna read a book on just him. He got me so intrigued. He played the game so well. He one of the all-time greats.
Now we talking about never put too much trust in friends, right?
Right.
And learn how to use the enemies. That's right. That's right. So before I kind of ran through a little bit of it. I ran through it. But we can run through it again, man. Let's go.
Well, I don't think we can run through the whole thing. I'm gonna say this part.
All right.
I was going to do one of the main things I was going to stick on. He says in there, towards the end of the chapter, he says, the king is talking to an old friend saying, we can't be friends because a rich person can't be friends with a pauper. Or whatever. And, for people to be real friends, they need to be on the same level in life, because once one person goes higher than the other, is going to be little issues or whatever between the two. I can't say that I agree with him.
I don't.
I can't say I agree. I understand where the logic comes from. Because yes, there are incidents where people want one person come up and the other one feel go behind their back and betray them. And yes, some of the worst betrayals ever have been by friends. Actually, you can't betray somebody. You can't really betray somebody unless you're their friend or their family or they love you. Other than that, it's
close to them.
Right. So, but I tend to disagree with that, because it's also 1,000 stories of where somebody helped somebody else come up. I think it has to be, but see, also this is based in the realm of the courtiers or whatever. In our world, in the regular world, I can come up, and part of my come up can be to pull my friends up.
Well, but look at this thing here though, man. It's in the part of the book now. There's two stories, right? And the first one with Basilius and Michael,
right?
And then the second one, I'm gonna have to look at his name because I don't know if I can pronounce it. Cao Hyung Yin. Right. So in those two, Michael educated Basilius because he saved his life. He gave him money, did all this stuff, and Basilius still sold him out and killed him. Right. But he was expecting him to have gratitude. It was a one-way thing. Before you came on, I was talking about the unspoken contract.
Right.
He had an unspoken contract with Basilius. He figured, I gave you all this stuff, so you should have my back.
Right.
But that was false. But in the second part, with the Chinese general, he took his enemies and retired them all.
Right.
So it was a mutual thing, because he was getting the fact that they wasn't going to try to kill him, and they was getting money.
Right.
So it all came down to what that relationship is. And what I think what's happening is that the definition of friend is something that got to be explored.
Well, okay. Well, let's look at it like this. Like, you're correct. He was getting that okay, they're not going to try to kill me, and then they was getting lands and titles and money. Well, in the Basilius and Michael thought I would get a loyal friend, and Basilius would come from dirt would come up out the ground. He was low level. I'm gonna elevate you to a level you could have never reached without my help.
Right.
Yeah, I would expect the person to have some gratitude for that too. And because you're really supposed to, when we quote unquote friends, you're supposed to be excited when I come up.
But ain't nobody but he the only one that was saying they was friends.
Yeah.
To me, it looked like he was using him. He was just smiling in his face because he was getting stuff every time he come around.
Yeah, it's true.
You say they were friends. And, it's people like that, man. And that's, I think, the big lesson we got to get out of this is that be careful who you call a friend. Be careful.
Sometimes you're their friend, but they're not yours.
They're not yours. That's right. And I mean, even in terms of, even best friends, I got my mentor. I call him a friend, mentor, big brother, everything else. But I had to come to the conclusion that I don't hold the same station for him that he hold for me.
Right.
but we still cool. It's still, and I respect that. But I think when I realized what that was, then I could become more effective in what I was doing.
Well, I understand your point there, but at the same time, if a person is your mentor, in turn, you can't hold the same place for them, because they can't be your mentor and you be theirs as well.
Well, this is something I know in this situation, the mentor thing developed over time. That's my computer. I gotta plug my computer up. But yeah, that developed over time. I've known him since I was 15 years old. So, and he recently, took that spot as mentor, 10, 15 years, well, about 20 years ago. So it kind of grew into that. Well, but I see what you're saying, though.
Well, I'll give you an example in the public eye. And one of the best descriptions I've heard from somebody talking about how their relationship with someone changed over the years as the two of them progressed in their careers. And that was Freddie Roach talking about his relationship with Manny Pacquiao. He said, now, when I first started training Manny Pacquiao, I was in charge. I was the boss. We did things the way I wanted to do them. He knew he had to be where I wanted him to be, when he wanted to be there, on time, train this long, eat like this. Everything I said go. Then after Manny started making some money and winning some matches and became a champion, it turned into a collaboration where, all right, Freddie, you want to do this? This is what I want to do. All right, how can we come to agreement? Now that Manny been a long time champion and got all the money and realized, oh, I pay you, Freddie. You know what I'm saying? Now we do what Manny want to do. We bring people that Manny want to bring in. And he said, and Freddie Roach said, now I've been a trainer for a long time. I know that's how it goes. Every boxer I've ever trained and gotten to a certain level, this is how the relationship goes. So for him being experienced with it, he could easily handle it. But for every boxer, it's new. So they don't really know how to adjust to it. He said, now I've been a trainer so long, I help the boxers adjust to that. That's the natural progression. You have to be, part of my job as a trainer, I'm not only training you to be a boxer, I'm training you to be your own man.
Yeah. And I think that's what happened to me. That's exactly what it was.
And that's the in that situation. What I'm saying is that's a real friend.
Yeah.
A friend is somebody that wants you to get to your highest point, regardless of, like, some people might say, oh, I ain't gonna be his trainer. He don't want to listen no more. You see what I'm saying? I can't be his trainer. Freddie Roach is like, nah, I know at some point he gonna grow up and become older and become a man and want more control of his life. I accept that, but I want to still gonna do my role in my part in helping him be as best he can be. Because I'm his trainer. I said I would.
Yeah, and you can't hold people back.
Right.
On that. Exactly. And this when I was thinking about when I said we have to define friends, I'm thinking about it like the difference in how men define friends and how women define friends. At least from my knowledge, from the people I've seen, men, everybody we meet is a friend. We just got varying degrees.
Correct.
So somebody that I know, I might have met him a few times, but they cool. So, okay, that's a friend, but he not close.
Right.
Versus somebody I've known for 20 years, they're close. Yeah, they close.
Right.
But I noticed with women, like even my wife, they don't do that. Either you close or you not. That's it. Either you in or out. So when I was looking at that, how they define friends here, it looked like to me he talking about just friends as in an acquaintance.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like somebody, because it's always talking about people at work.
Correct.
Just in the workplace. So you're not going to, you could apply this to other stuff, but it's really mainly talking about the workplace.
Well, I think he's talking about, yes, it is about the workplace, and he's referring to the friends as people that end up, like if you're the emperor, the generals work for you, and they should be friendly to your cause.
Yeah.
They might necessarily be your friend to hang out with or whatever, but they should
Right.
be on the same side and trying to accomplish
Mhm.
the same thing you trying to accomplish because you're the emperor and they're your generals. Y'all should be together on one team. Y'all should at least be a team.
Yep, that's true.
But
That you got to.
in this case, the way the system had been going in China to that point, they wasn't friends at all.
Oh no, China during that time was very turbulent, man. It
Right.
was it was kill or be killed. One kill
Right.
one, then they go kill the other one, and they just been, and that happened all the way up until like the turn of the century, man. It was, because I think they stopped having samurais and all that in like 1800s or something.
Okay, you're getting two places mixed up now. Samurai is Japan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this China.
Yeah,
Well,
this
but
China.
then they did so this is general shogun and stuff like that.
The shogun is
Japan.
Is Japan too. The Chinese have actual generals, colonels, and all that. Like they have a regular military system the way we do, but their ruler is called the emperor.
Yeah, I'm thinking about before modernization, before they got modernized.
Yeah, you're talking about feudal Japan.
Yes, yes.
Feudal Japan, they were in war. The 1600s is the century you were talking about when it was just like back and forth, nonstop war, changing the kings, changing the emperors and all that. That was the 1600s until they combined as one nation.
Right.
And there was one, I forgot the guy's name, but it was one guy who rose to power.
And he did it for a long time.
Right.
He stopped it.
Yeah, he combined
by doing this.
Yeah. and all of it's like they say, it's a game of power.
Mm-hmm.
And this is in a lot of time in reference to the work situation, because one of the things that's consistent through all of this is only one spot.
Yeah.
It's only one spot, which is why you can have friends out here in the real world, because I don't work with you. So you're trying to rise to the top at your particular career, and I'm trying to rise to the top at my particular career, and your client don't stop mine.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not gonna be no reason for it to be a beef. I should only be over here clapping my hands when you do what you do, and you should only be clapping your hands when I do what I do. It's not gonna be no beef.
I tell you, I told them a story before you came on, and I just realized that again, I was the friend that was the scapegoat. And I didn't even know it. So man, my first management job at warehouse. So I made a friend because I was teaching, and the lady I was working with met this guy. And he was a warehouse manager. So he was cool, man. We had hit it off, man. Our families used to do stuff together, all that. And he had a job at the warehouse up the road. So he said, I need an assistant manager. So the warehouse was huge. It was like 650,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
So it was real big. No, it was bigger than that, but we had 659,000 tires in there. So I was the assistant manager. So I came in there, like, oh man, I'm gonna work. I'm giving him gratitude. He gave me the job, had significant pay raise. I'm gonna get in here. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna do my best for him because he hooked me up. He earned that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, next thing I know, this joker started getting headaches and migraines, leaving early, doing all this stuff, not coming to work some days. So guess who running the warehouse? Me. I was doing I was hiring the labor companies. I was designing security systems for the warehouse, doing all inventory control, communicating with the CEOs of these huge companies. And he was laid back taking tramadol for some headaches.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, we changed labor companies. And what happened was the checks got messed up. You change labor companies, sometimes it don't quite. Right. Checks got messed up. First week, I was scrambling to get the checks fixed. I wasn't going to let them boys not be paid.
Right.
So first week come, the fella's like, all right, Hicks, I know you got it. You got it. Fixed it. Second week come. This dude said, man, what in the world is this? Why my check say 17 cents? Other check said 34 cents. Man, it was crazy. So they was about to walk out. They was about to walk out. But
Man,
that day we had
why them boys even printed them checks? You knew something was wrong when you printed that check. Anybody working for those 17 cents?
17 cents. Oh no, this is what they did now. The labor company said they was gonna print the check and then they was gonna fix it, and them boys gonna get paid next week. But how you gonna pay somebody next week? It's Friday today. They got bills due, they got all this stuff due. They can't wait for you. So then we had 15 loads going out. We used to average about 10. So, and we had to get it. So now I wanted them to work overtime and get extra effort, but they check only 17 cents.
Ain't gonna happen.
Man, it happened. And you know why it happened? Because I was the one out there asking them, you know, please, y'all do this for me. I'm going to take care of this before y'all leave today. So they said they trust me, and they did it. But guess where the manager was? He wasn't there. And just like in this book, it say a friend can be a useful scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the scapegoat. They just didn't eat me. It's crazy, man. But yeah, I didn't realize, you know, reading this book and thinking back through my life as times when I was on the other end of it.
And I think that's one of the best things about this book. It's not necessarily you to set out and do everything in this book to try to come up and take advantage of people, anything like that. But it's definitely for you to know what could be being used against you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's definitely for you to say, okay, I saw that happen. I saw that happen. This is similar to a few steps that happened before my man got full cage. Let me adjust for it. It's a you know, you don't heard of Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
And one of his quotes, he's one of his speeches, he says, "You done got fired from your job and you ain't even see the signs coming."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, you just got fired. You didn't even see it coming. You wasn't paying attention. And that's what this book opens your eyes up and makes you pay attention.
Yeah.
So you can see the signs that's coming and know what's going on with your stuff.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff in here, man. It's like if I'd have knew this when I was younger, I'd have been a lot better off.
Exactly. And
I'd have been a lot better off.
And making that distinction that we just made between a friend and somebody that should be on your side, which is what I really think they're talking about in this book.
Yeah.
People that should be on your side.
Exactly.
We're not talking about your friends you grew up with your day one. We're not talking about them. We're talking about you just into that arena. You're new to the arena. Who in that arena is supposed to be on your side? Who is your enemy? And how can you utilize them to accomplish whatever it is you're trying to accomplish?
There you go. There you go. Because you know what? A friend, a real friend, not going to let you hire them to do something they don't know how to do.
Right. Exactly.
they not.
Hey, man, I want to make the money, but I don't even know how to do that.
Oh, exactly. Or they'll say, man, let me get some training or something. Yeah. I'll do it. But I know, man, you coming in off that flight. I'm dragging myself because I had to do some impossible stuff yesterday. So, man, I think we should probably cut this one off, man. And then, you know, we'll reconvene with chapter the Law 3 next week. What you think?
Yeah. That'll work, man. Because I just wanted to make sure I got on his shots out to my boy Ron. You know, I wanted to show him some love. You know, he played Napoleon. You know what I'm saying? It was smooth how he did it. And just, you know, and I'm gonna say this, man. Just pay attention to everybody around you. Yeah. Everybody that's supposed to be on your team, not on your team. Everybody that's supposed to be your friend, not your friend. So I think that's the biggest lesson I take from this. And also think win-win. Because that's what the dude in China did.
Yeah.
It was a win-win. I'm gonna give these generals, these guys who've been long-term generals who could play in line for my spot. I'm gonna take care of them and get them out the way, and I'll bring some young cats along that I could build how I want and make it really happen.
And that's what I wrote. I didn't write win-win, but I said there has to be a mutual benefit. And out
Exactly.
beside that, I put the in groups and the out groups.
Right.
So real quick, there's a leadership theory called leader member exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see this alive and well at many of your workplaces. What
Okay.
happens is there's a leader, a manager. He
Mhm.
has an in group, the people that's close to him, people he talk to all the time, that he give the resources to. They need something done, they get it like this because they in the in group. Everybody else is on the out group. They don't get any attention. They can't get what they need. They can't get any of that. Well, as a leader, it's your objective to move the out group, everybody from the out group to the in group.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the friends come into play.
Right.
Friends at work, because they're in the in group and not your personal friends. Because this book say let friends be friends.
Right.
And hire the people who can do the job.
Exactly.
Move the out group to the in group.
Exactly. And that's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's definitely a lot of workplaces like that. You know, the common term for that is favoritism.
Yeah.
And that's one of the quickest killers in any workplace.
So, your friends and family.
Yeah, and that'll have the out group run you up out of there as quick as possible.
For sure. So, yeah. All right, man. So let's go ahead and we can sign off because total screen has been almost an hour.
Yeah.
And I know you jet lagged and you got to get yourself going. Got to see your son and your lady.
Yeah.
You know all that.
I still got to be to work at 5 a.m.
Man, you know how it go.
It's like that. You'll never stop. Anyway, man, just wanted to jump on for a minute. Appreciate you having me on as usual. You know, I love to do this. We get together.
Man.
We'll be back next Thursday with a more comprehensive study.
Okay.
Hopefully better off. And man, have a good night, Mom, man. Enjoy your evening. Go in there, you know, get a wife or kids, get the kids a hug, man. And
yes,
you have
sir.
a good night, man.
For sure. All right, hold on. We'll take it on out. All right, y'all.